Every time you take your blood pressure, your machine gives you two numbers. You get the top number, your systolic, and the bottom number, your diastolic. We are all taught to obsess over these two specific numbers. But what if I told you that in emergency rooms and intensive care units, doctors and nurses are looking at a third number? A number your home machine probably doesn't show you, but one that is arguably the most important indicator of whether your vital organs are actually getting the blood and oxygen they need to survive. This hidden number is called your mean arterial pressure, or MAP for short. Doctors care deeply about your MAP because it tells them the average pressure in your arteries during one complete, full cycle of your heartbeat. Today, I am going to teach you exactly why this single number is so crucial for your heart health, what your target danger zones are, and most importantly, I am going to give you the exact medical formula so you can calculate your own mean arterial pressure right now, sitting at home, in under 30 seconds. Grab a pen and a piece of paper, or open the calculator on your phone, because we are going to do the math together. Before we calculate your number, you need to understand why mean arterial pressure exists in the first place. If your blood pressure is 120/80, you might logically think that your average pressure is just right in the middle, around 100. But the human heart doesn't work like simple math. Your heart spends more time resting and filling with blood than it does actively squeezing and pumping. In fact, a healthy heart spends about 2/3 of its time in a resting phase, which is the diastolic phase, and only 1/3 of its time in the active squeezing phase, the systolic. Because your arteries spend twice as much time under that bottom diastolic pressure, the bottom number carries twice as much weight when we calculate the true average pressure inside your vessels. If your mean arterial pressure drops too low, it means your blood doesn't have enough pushing force to make it through the tiny, intricate vessels in your brain, your kidneys, and your liver. Your organs begin to starve for oxygen. On the flip side, if your mean arterial pressure is constantly too high, that forceful, relentless average pressure is slowly damaging the delicate inner lining of your arteries, leading to atherosclerosis, stiffening, and a significantly increased risk of stroke. You need to know exactly where you stand. So, let's learn the formula. To calculate your MAP, you only need the two numbers from your standard blood pressure reading. Here is the exact formula used by medical professionals. Mean arterial pressure equals your systolic pressure, plus 2 times your diastolic pressure. Then, you take that total, and divide it by 3. Let's do an example together so you can see exactly how this works. Let's pretend you just took your blood pressure, and your reading is perfectly normal at 120/80. Step 1. Take your bottom number, the 80, and multiply it by 2. That gives us 160. Step 2. Add that 160 to your top number, the 120. That gives us a total of 280. Step 3. Divide that total of 280 by 3. If you do the math, 280 divided by 3 equals 93.3. So, for a textbook normal blood pressure of 120/80, your mean arterial pressure is 93. Now I want you to pause this video, look at your most recent blood pressure reading, and calculate your own MAP. Take your bottom number, double it, add the top number, and divide by 3. Once you have your personal number, you need to know exactly what it means. Now that you have your mean arterial pressure calculated, let's see where you fall on the medical scale. The generally accepted normal range for MAP is between 70 and 100 millimeters of mercury. If your number is sitting comfortably in this green zone, it means there is enough pressure to adequately perfuse, or feed, your vital organs without causing long-term damage to the vessel walls. But what if your number is outside of this healthy range? Let's look at the low end first. If your MAP falls below 65, this is considered a clinical red flag. At this level, there simply isn't enough pushing force to deliver blood against gravity to your brain or push it through the dense filtration system of your kidneys. You might feel dizzy, lightheaded, completely exhausted, or experience severe brain fog. If it stays this low, it is a medical emergency because organ tissue can actually begin to die from the lack of oxygen and nutrients. Conversely, what if your mean arterial pressure is consistently over 100? Or perhaps even over 110. This means your cardiovascular system is operating under massive, constant stress. Even when your heart is trying to rest and fill, the pressure inside the pipes remains dangerously high. Over time, this elevated MAP accelerates the hardening of the arteries, significantly increases the workload on your heart muscle leading to thickening, and forces your kidneys to operate under damaging high-pressure conditions that can cause chronic kidney disease. Calculating your mean arterial pressure is an incredibly empowering tool. It takes the confusion of two completely different numbers and turns them into one clear, understandable picture of your average cardiovascular strain. It puts you on the same page as your doctor. However, MAP is still only one piece of the puzzle. There is another calculation you can do at home, right now, with the exact same blood pressure reading, that cardiologists look at very closely. While MAP tells you the average pressure inside the system, your pulse pressure tells you the exact stiffness of your arteries. It is the mathematical gap between your top and bottom number. If that gap gets too wide, or completely narrows, it can be a silent warning sign of a stiffening heart or failing valves. I have created a comprehensive, step-by-step guide explaining exactly how to find your pulse pressure, what a normal gap should be for your age, and what the dangerous high and low limits are. If you want to have a complete understanding of what your blood pressure monitor is really trying to tell you, you need to know both your MAP and your pulse pressure. Click right here on the screen to watch the pulse pressure breakdown next, and I will see you over there.